And we're back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast, bringing you our fourth segment, which is going to be talking about the injury to Minnesota Twins starting pitcher Joe Ryan. So we'll be going over that, the impact that is going to have on the Twins and the Twins overall. But before we do that, I'd like to ask you once again to please like and follow the show. We do get our number of questions from viewers, so to ensure that your question does get read in the air, please use the link gsmcpodcast.net. It really does help the show, and it really does mean a lot. So thank you so much for that. And let's get back into the show for today. All right, so we are going to be talking about our fourth segment here, which is going to be talking about Joe Ryan and his injury for the Minnesota Twins. So let's get into it. So Joe Ryan has been diagnosed with a grade 2 teres major strain that will take weeks to months to recover, according to Twins manager Rocco Baldelli. He said, don't rule him out for the season yet, but it's very possible that he is going to be out because the injury that he has is much more severe than they originally thought. Now, I did know about this injury a little while ago. I knew that he was placed on the 15-day IL, but like the Twins said, I didn't really think it was a big deal. I kind of just thought it was, in motions for a pitcher of the year. I didn't really think it was a significant injury, but now we know that it is, and it is something that is really going to affect the Twins for the rest of the year. And, Joe Ryan has been absolutely fantastic this year with this Twins team. They have really struggled in the pitching department a little bit. I think kind of quietly, Pablo Lopez hasn't had the season you expected of him, but Joe Ryan this year, has had a 3.60 ERA, 23 games started, really hasn't missed a start all year. And of course, before now, he's thrown 135 innings pitched, has a K per 9 of 9.9, walk per 9 of 1.53. He's done a really good job controlling that. Home runs per 9 of 1.27, expected ERA of 2.88, so even lower than that. I think Joe Ryan has really become just an absolutely fantastic pitcher, and has really become one of the better pitchers in that entire Twins rotation since coming over from Tampa Bay in a trade a little while ago. Also, we just got some news here that the Twins are actually showing a lot of interest in Rich Hill, so that would add some pitching depth here with the Joe Ryan injury. But Ryan has really been just a force since coming to the Twins, and just been a great piece of that rotation. Has just been Mr. Consistent, and this injury is really going to affect him a lot, I think. One of the problems with the Twins, as much as I like this team, is that they did not make really any moves to trade deadline. They got Trevor Richards, who's a fine bullpen arm, but when that's really the only thing you're adding, it really does hurt. You look at this rotation right now, you look at the depth chart, you have, of course, Pablo Lopez, who hasn't exactly had the season you wanted of him, having an ERA close to 5. Bailey Ober's really solid. Chris Paddock's really solid, but he's on the injured list as well. Samuel Richardson is really solid, and so is David Festa, and all these guys are good. It's just the thing is, all these guys are young, and the only real veteran you have is Pablo Lopez, who isn't having a great season, and Joe Ryan. Well, he's not really a veteran still. He has been in the league for 3 or 4 years now, so I'm considering him a veteran. He's 28. So, even looking at the obvious part of this that's bad is Joe Ryan's a great pitcher. Twins are going to miss him. Also, again, going into the playoffs, you need experienced arms, and for the Twins, they're just not going to have that right now. Going into a playoff series, you're going to now have Simeon Woods-Richardson, Bailey Ober, David Festa throw significant innings for you, assuming Chris Paddock isn't going to be off the injured list, and assuming the same about Joe Ryan. So that's a problem. As much as these guys are great young pitchers, the playoffs are a different beast, and I think you need to be able to control your emotions, and you're playing the best hitters all the time. No one's resting, no one's hurt, basically, and if you are hurt, it's got to be really, really bad. So I'm never a fan of throwing rookie pitchers out for a significant amount of innings in a playoffs, and I think that's really what the Twins might have to do. They're kind of backed into a corner with that, with this Joe Ryan injury. So that is really going to affect them now, and it's going to be very interesting to see what does happen with them for the rest of the year. I think Joe Ryan is an incredible pitcher, and the fact that you are now going to lose him for a significant amount of time really does suck, and really is something that you're going to have to deal with for the rest of the year. I thought you would acquire a starting pitcher at the deadline. I had you connected to Yusei Kikuchi, who there's a lot of rumors about, but obviously he went to your direct AL rival in the Astros. So I think that the Twins are really at a disadvantage here because they didn't do much at the deadline. I understand you had financial constraints, but apparently you had the best offer to the White Sox for Eric Fetty, and they declined it because you're in division. So you obviously were trying to make starting pitching trades. You were able to take on money. You obviously did know that you needed a starting pitcher. So only getting Trevor Richards to add to the bullpen is not a great sign. I talked about Rich Hill before, who can be a very good, solid pitcher for you. Just kind of throw garbage innings, but is he really going to be the difference maker you need? Is he even going to make a playoff roster? I don't think so. So if I'm the Twins, I'm really regretting what I did to the deadline right now. And there are a lot of good pitchers. I understand that I understand that the pitcher prices were very high. I understand that, but there were controllable pitchers available, like a Trevor Rogers. I think you should have gone after him. You have really good pitching development, and I think he would have been a really good fit in your system. You before offered Luke Ketchall to the White Sox for Eric Fetty. I'm sure if you offered that to the Marlins for Trevor Rogers, I'm sure they would have took it. So I think that you should have used the prospect capital you have to your advantage, because you have Walter Jenkins, Brooks Lee, Manuel Rodriguez, David Festa, Luke Ketchall, Zebby Matthews, all around top 100 prospects. And obviously Walker Jenkins is going to be someone that you're not going to trade. He's untouchable. I'd say Brooks Lee, same. And David Festa is going to be a big impact to you this year, but you could have traded Emmanuel Rodriguez. You could have traded Luke Ketchall. I think these guys would have been really good guys to be able to dangle around, because you needed pitching. You have a really good offense, and I think kind of just wasting this year of a core year of Byron Buxton, of Royce Lewis, of Carlos Correa, is bad. And these guys are hurt right now, yes, but are they? I think they're going to be all healthy for the postseason, and wasting a healthy year of these guys in the playoffs, I think, is really sad. And if I'm the Twins, I would have done much more at the deadline, and I think you're seeing this now with the injury to Joe Ryan. It's going to be interesting to watch for the rest of the year. I think they're still in consideration to win the American League Central, are very close with the Cleveland Guardians, only 3.5 out. I think, simply put, the Twins are the better team. But now with this Joe Ryan injury, with the significant gap the Guardians have gotten now to as well, being 3.5 above, I think it's going to be an uphill battle for you guys. And I still think you can go far in the playoffs without winning the division, but it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens here, and overall what the AL Central is going to look like for the rest of the year. I'm really following it, and it's going to be a very exciting time to be able to see as a baseball fan. So that is my fourth segment here on the show today, talking about Joe Ryan and his injury for the Minnesota Twins. Going into our fifth and final segment here, which is going to be talking about news around the league, just some stories that I did want to talk about that I thought were important, but not important enough to talk about for a full 12-minute segment. So yeah, I'll be going over that, and I'll see you after our fourth and final break for today. So thank you so much, and bye.